Welcome back, my friends. It's your buddy Tack, back with another blade. Today we got the Old Timer 300T. Technical specs on this thing. Overall length, 8.46 inches. The blade length is a 4-inch, and the weight is around 5.9 ounces. The steel is 8CR13 MOV. It's got a nice hollow grind there with a little bit of a recurve. So this thing's going to be perfect for a hunting knife, skinning, stuff like that. Maybe some whittling as well. Now the retail is about $63, but you can usually find them for about $38. Close up of the handle for you. Now the bolsters are called nickel silver. Kind of looks like brass though. Same thing with the pins, nicely done, polished. Now the wood has two different woods here. This is rosewood and ebony. So that's kind of neat as well. Full tang construction, very slim design. Now the handle shape is very simple. A little bit of a finger choil right there. A little bit of a hilt as well, so you don't slide forward on accident if you did have to stab into something. Here's the sheath that it comes with. Leather, nicely done too. Stitching seems pretty decent and beefy. There's your belt loop. Snap for retention. Let's check for rattle. Absolutely nothing. And even if it did leather, it's gonna mute it. It ain't like it's bouncing against Kydex or something. Let's see if it holds it in without the snap. I have a feeling not. Well, yeah, actually. It will shake out, but you got to shake it pretty good. So initial sharpness seems pretty decent. Let me take a look at the bevel. Actually the bevel's perfect. Nice. It's always cool to see. Let's check this out. Oh yeah. Now I know this is really supposed to be for flash, but I'm assuming you could use it for small tasks like this, whittling, making snares, traps. It's actually really freaking sharp. It's almost too bad I'm gonna dull it up on some wood instead of some flesh, because damn man, look at that clean. I don't know if I can get you to see that, how clean that is. I mean, it's smooth. It almost like somebody sanded it. So the sharpness is really freaking high, actually. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it almost can just, I can just push straight through that. It's actually really freaking sharp. Yeah, so let's see how this thing stabs. I know this ain't a tactical knife, but hey, you might have to use it like this. And it seems like that's going to be pretty safe. No real there's a little bit of traction there, at least this way, but I don't know about, well, let's check it out. Any shock yet? A little bit. No real slippage just because of how abrupt that is. Well, it's not abrupt, but it's smooth, so it's comfortable. So far, it's not a hot spot or nothing. Because a lot of times they do it too violent, and then it turns into a hot spot or starts crushing your finger. But actually, that feels pretty good. In the shape, I'm actually not slipping. A little bit of shock, though, because the wood just transfers shock, kind of. It doesn't really absorb it. But it's stabbing pretty well. Not that this is for batoning, and I wouldn't recommend it with a knife like this, because you could loosen up the wood with those pins. But we're just going to do some light batoning, nothing gigantic. You know, it's like 1.5 inch, 2-inch piece. See if you can just at least take this. See how that 8CR holds up. Now, in my findings, 8CR is definitely kind of a lower level steel. Pluses and minuses. A plus, it's easy to sharpen. Very easy. At least for me. Edge retention, not bad. You know, it does wear a little quick. It depends how abusive you are on the steel and how much you use it. A little bit bigger piece. So far, this is baton, no problem now. I love frickin' recurves, man. They just work so well. A lot of people hate sharpening them. All you gotta do is practice. They are tougher to sharpen, but I like them. I'd rather have a knife with a recurve than without. But that's just me, for most tasks anyways. Yeah, batoning, no problem. Take a quick look at the edge. Perfect. Being 5.9 ounces ain't gonna make it a chopper, but I gotta try it a little bit anyways. We'll just do the old 3-finger action. See if it bites at all. It actually is. And this is a kind of a rotten piece of wood, but I believe it's a hardwood. I could be wrong. I think it's just because it's so sharp in that recurve, it's actually biting kind of decent. There is no weight, there is no mass, but being sharp with that recurve, it's chopping better than some bigger knives I've tested. And it's taking nice clean chunks, whoops, as well. Look at that. A lot of people say, why don't you test the sharpness after to see how it holds up? Well, being a shorter test usually, unless it's weak, crappy, then, you know, you'll obviously see the damage. But we'll do it for you guys, just to see if it's about the same. Yep, it's pretty much feeling the same. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit less, but not really. It's still, you can see that, it's still biting right in nicely. Nice thin shavings. Now pushing with your thumb right here, if you're pushing up high, that does hurt a little just because it's skinny, but you can push down here where it's a lot flatter. Now see, for a ferro rod, yeah, that is a 90. It's not super sharp, but I'm sure it would work. So that's my overall thoughts on the Old Timer 300T. Definitely a good little hunting knife. Anybody that needs it for that, I think it's just going to do great. And small tasks. You know, I didn't even want to baton it, but I batoned some small stuff, and it did it well. None of the wood is loose, because I was thinking that might happen, because I've had knives that did that. When they got wood inserts, they become loose and crap, but everything seems nice and tight. She's straight still. I mean, the finish, besides just like goo on it, you hit that with oil, it's going to be flawless. Which I thought was nice. So that looks perfect. Same thing with the edge. No damage. 8CR13 held up pretty well for being what it is. So would I recommend it for $38? Most definitely. For being what it is. You know, this ain't a hard use survival knife, but this would make an awesome knife for your dad. Or maybe if you got a young son that's just getting into hunting and stuff. The sheath is nice, classy old school leather. You know, it looks real good together. So it would definitely be a cool present for your dad or something like that, your grandfather, if they're still around. There you go. Thanks as always for hanging out with Tack. And until the next time we meet.